So it's I don't do the radio thing right now.
Okay, that's fine.
I did, and so I basically I was like 24. I came back home. I spent a couple of years on the West Coast in Vancouver and LA, and decided that I had to kind of reposition and refocus, and I was looking to go back to school. I picked a really terrible time to decide this in my life. It was like in March, and so like applications were already done. So like, where do I go?
Oh, okay.
There's a
Yeah, that's
college
hard.
in Toronto that has a really good radio program, and I've always really liked radio, and so I was really curious what that would look like. I went into just like an open house and was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to apply, and I got into it because I wanted to study things like not actually radio, but more like digital media and branding and media sales and things like that. I
Oh,
was very
branding.
curious about. So that all worked, but as I was there, I found that I was really enjoying doing the on-air stuff, and kind of pursued that for a little bit.
Okay. Wow, that's really amazing. But you said 24. Wait, so can I ask how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 28.
Okay, so 4 years ago. Practically.
Yeah, I guess it was about that's a better answer to the question. It was probably exactly 4 years ago that I started putting this all together.
Okay, so then this was definitely something where is something out of the blue that randomly like happened? Did you feel like you had like inspiration or anything? Like you just wanted to be a part of it somehow,
No,
some way?
it was not as positive of a story as that. I was pretty beat up actually. I had spent like a good chunk of time on the West Coast, kind of trying to figure out, like, as an adult, what does it mean to be an actor?
Okay.
What does it mean to do this professionally? And I found out very quickly, like I think most people that decide to really pursue this professionally in their early 20s, that like, yeah, it's not going to be hard to move to LA and get a job. It's just that job is going to be waiting tables, and
Oh yeah.
I was more than okay doing that for a while, and I really loved it.
Okay.
But when I came back, it was like, hey, I just feel like I've been spinning my wheels. It's tough in your early 20s to figure out the acting thing, no matter what success you had before. And it was just time for something different.
Oh wow.
Radio was because it was something that I had always definitely paid attention to. I grew up on radio, and I always liked it. But really, it was that the program covered all these other bases. And with the timing of it, it was going to be easier to get in there than anywhere else. I just wanted to go back to school.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you still got, some experience under your belt, especially with like branding and media that you can definitely use, vice versa through everything that you've worked through now.
Yeah, the education that I got was tremendous. So shout out to Humber College in Toronto, go Hawks. It was really cool. Like, I had a lot that I had to go through, I think, and one of the big things was like learn the value of hard work. And in radio, I mean, people just bust their ass all the time. So for me, it was the opportunity to learn how to do that properly was needed.
Can I ask exactly for radio, because you were a radio
Yeah.
personality, when did you get to be on air? Or did you get to host a
So
show? Or like what
yeah,
exactly?
yeah. I was on air on a station in Regina, Saskatchewan. Now I know that we got an American audience here, so if you have no idea where Saskatchewan, Canada is, it is right above North Dakota. So what they tell you, and I think this is true for everywhere, but particularly for a country like Canada that really only has three major media markets and a few others around, what they tell you is when you're out of school, first thing you got to do is go to the middle of nowhere and start your radio job in small town nowhere. Just go for it. Now I got really lucky because I applied to a job in Regina, which is like a population of 220,000, which for your first radio job, being in a market that size is really cool. So I got lucky, but yeah, I mean I didn't last too long. It was a hard rock station, and there's a lot of downsides to the radio life as well. Um, And I mean, I really liked being on the prairies, but after a while, I had to come back to Toronto again. Like, it's just where my heart was, and
Well,
there
you
were other
missed your
things that I wanted to do that I knew I could do here.
and you missed your hometown, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely different. Like, Toronto, 4 or 5 million people going to Regina with 200,000. That's a big culture shock. But there's still a lot to like about it out there. It was just I know where I fit, and at the time, I don't think that was it.
Well, I know also with your Bing Pot trivia, it kind of seems like, well, I think I looked at your website or Pot trivia, something that you had
Yeah.
on either TikTok or your Instagram. It was a little
Yeah.
kind of podcast where you were explaining what that was. So I was like, okay, he
Yeah.
has that radio personality voice.
Yeah,
All
that was
like,
actually a project from school, and it was, hey, you got to do a feature on something. So Big Pod is it's the company that I run. It's my trivia company, and I started it as a side gig while I was still in broadcasting school, and it was like originally started just at the college bar, and then I was able to kind of grow it and bring it into the city and find another venue, and then I brought it to Regina with me when I went out there, and then I left it there and got some different people to cover it for me, and then back to Toronto to set up more. And that was kind of how everything came through with that. But yeah, yeah, that one's just kind of been that's been the focus. Sorry, that's been the focus for a good couple of years now.
so what exactly, because all the listeners and myself, we'd like to know what exactly is Bing Pot trivia. First of all, where did the name come from?
Okay, so anybody listening out there is a big fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You might recognize the phrase Bing Pot. It's a throwaway gag that has shown up maybe 4 or 5 times throughout the course of the series. But where it actually came from a trivia sense. So I was living in Vancouver, like I said, so I moved around a lot. And before I came back and went to school, I was in Vancouver. And my roommate, a very good friend of mine, when we were out there, we both loved playing Jeopardy, and we both loved watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And one day we're walking by a bar, and they've got a pub night, a quiz night, trivia night. And we're like, all right, let's go check it out. And we do, and it's like, hey, what do we call our team? We'd just seen the first episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they say Bing Pot. We thought it was the funniest thing in the world. We're like, Bing Pot, that's our team name. Amazing. It's so much fun to yell, Bing Pot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, super fun. So, okay, that was our team name. Because I was doing the restaurant thing, I didn't really have much of a social life. Like, my weekends were work, right? So the only night I had during the week to go out and be social was my Wednesday night trivia, right? It was like, make sure I'm not scheduled. I'm like, that's my thing. And through my roommate, he was at school for animation, and a bunch of his classmates and other friends that we got together to build this little trivia team. It just kind of became like an outlet for us to be social and for us to. We were all creative types, right? Like, I'm actor / writer / whatever.
Yeah, you're screenwriter. We're going to talk about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, modelers and everything else. And so, like, for us, it was not just the trivia thing, but it was a hub for creative types. And I wanted to keep that and hang on to it and bring it. So when I decided to start doing my own trivia, because I couldn't find one I liked enough in Toronto, it just made sense to name it after the team. And the hope is that I can grow this into something that is very much more than trivia, but trivia was the start.
Now,
that's kind of where it was all come from.
Now, with your trivia, though, are you using, like, trivia for Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Or are you doing, like, everything trivia? Like, what is your genre? Okay, cool.
So, yeah, I was in a bunch of different bars, but I love bar trivia. I love, first of all, because I worked in hospitality for so long, like, I do like the industry. I like getting people together. And for me, it's always been about giving people an excuse to hang out and have a good time.
Oh, that sounds awesome right now. But COVID.
That's it, right? Yeah. So that was the thing. So I was in a bunch of bars, but then when COVID kind of hit us all, it was like, okay, how do I keep doing this? Especially in the beginning when we were all first kind of on lockdown and we had to get used to the idea of just not going out. It was really important for me to keep up this trivia shtick that I've been doing, and because it's still just an outlet for people to get together, I didn't want to lose that. So I found a way to bring it online. So now I broadcast on Twitch every week.
Okay.
And I think that's been great because it's the ability to get people together, you with your friends or whoever in a Zoom room, getting your parents even that are like sitting upstairs to just kind of watch with you. I've got friends in Florida, cousins that play like it's the whole family thing. And honestly, that is the whole reason I've been doing this. It's the whole essence of the business I'm trying to build.
So this is something that you kind of, you and your friend witnessed, and you guys enjoyed the company of everyone being together. You like saying Bing Pot. Then all of a sudden this became something where you're like, okay, I love trivia. You love trivia. We all love trivia. And, you made this just something huge that everybody can enjoy. Now, is the trivia family friendly? is
Oh yeah.
there? Okay, all right, because
It's I
there
would
could be
I
raunchy.
would call it PG-13.
All right, that's fine.
I would call it PG-13. And look, remember that this is a product that is used to existing in bars. So Canada 19 plus. But I'm working on it. I mean, there's a couple fun little games that I like to play. Something like Cocktail or Cannabis is maybe not the most family friendly or the Urban Dictionary round, but these are games that like I'm trying to give it a broad appeal. We'll say PG-13 to play it safe.
That sounds good, but cocktails, there's nothing wrong with that. Neither with cannabis. So I don't know how that's
No,
like somebody's like against it. Do you mean?
well, it's just no, not against. It's just like sometimes people, nobody's ever really freaked out on, it, but like
I get you.
if we're talking about boozing and getting stoned, is that necessarily family appropriate? It probably wouldn't make it on Disney.
Well, when you're quarantined, what are you gonna do?
What else are we gonna do exactly?
Okay, so this is exciting. Now, question: are you trying to make it like not a board game, but like a card game, or do you like?
No.
Okay.
No, it's
like Hasbro or something like.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I'm definitely not pushing too hard about that. I think really what it is right now is like, I think the COVID situation has been positive in a sense that it's given me the, I guess, opportunity by necessity, but that I can get into the Twitch thing and start learning. And I've wanted to for a while, but it's tough when you're on the go all the time and I'm rarely at home. So it's like, okay, this is a good time to do that. So I think it's been awesome that I've been able to build that. And I think it's weird because you don't know exactly how this all works in 2020, but to just kind of build that show and get this broadcast going where as many people can tune in as possible on a Thursday night, it's I just want to build that audience and see what we get.
So Twitch, when did you first start looking into Twitch to use it as your go-to for Bing Pot?
I thought about Twitch for a while. I mean, I'm not crazy involved in watching streams and stuff, but I keep an ear to the ground in terms of like what is possible. And so talking about Twitch, it was just to me it's just a distribution medium. Like the product is the product, and I can learn how to build a show and cater to an audience and stuff. That's fine. But in terms of how do I want to get this show out here, Twitch made the most sense because part of it was because I was curious about the platform. Part of it is because it's got its roots in gaming, which is where I've got my roots. And
you're a gamer, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it was just seemed like the right fit. Like I could broadcast it on Facebook Live, but I don't know. To me, Twitch is future forward.
Okay.
So let's start build a presence there. A presence there.
It also definitely does make sense though because you are a gamer. See, I didn't know that. I've never looked into Twitch because I'm not logically a gamer. I'm more of like a radio show host, model radio personnel, and I'm like, I don't know if I have a great platform for that. That's why I said like TikTok is where I'm trying to like go live and launch, my career and your career as well. I guess Twitch is a great platform for a lot of people to use, especially for trivia. Because I've never heard of anyone doing trivia on there. Like I said, I only thought it was for gamers. So you're building a different, repertoire on Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say it's just distribution. Like it's just another way of getting the product, in this case, my show out there. And I notice a lot of similarities to the radio thing on Twitch. I mean, so forget the gaming side for a sec, but Twitch has a pretty robust catalog of streamers that they exist IRL in real life, just chatting, just hanging out and shooting the breeze with their friends, and that can work. And that's the radio side, right? How do you captivate your audience? How do you have this conversation? And it allows for the same level of intimacy that radio does, because at the end of the day, it's just you with your mic and a camera. If you want it to be that way, and then exactly. But it having the ability to interact with your chat live and watch people go crazy is great. I was really fortunate because I kind of did this all relatively under the radar. So like I've been building BingPod for 4 years, and it started small. It's all been very organic. But in the past year, I had shows in 4 or 5 venues around the city of Toronto. And so four nights a week in the spring, I was like last year, 4 nights a week, I was doing it. And now I have some guys that work for me, and I'm not everywhere. But because I put all that groundwork in, when I started broadcasting, my first stream, we had 200 viewers. And that's 200 computers, right?
Yep.
So
I saw that
that's
you
more than
posted that. Yeah, I think on TikTok.
yeah, and that was like, that was insane to me. But it's, yeah, because I ask anybody who starts off streaming, like to start with 200, unless you've got a big platform already, is nuts. I
You
was
have a
obviously
big
really appreciative.
platform, Danny.
Yeah, well, like a little bit. I mean, I think compared to the other people that were on Life with Derek, I probably less so, but I also kind of didn't lean into it as much as I could have.
Okay.
And I think, there was definitely a point where I was pretty over all of that. And so for me, like, I kind of look at I feel like I built this. And that's the cool part for me. So like, I don't know if anybody knows this, and tomorrow night is actually the last one, but over the past couple of Wednesdays, me and Jordan Todesy from Life with Derek have been sitting back on my Twitch and watching old episodes and talking about that, which has been really cool. We're doing our last one tomorrow. But those streams, we've got, I think, a maximum of 50 people watching, and most of those are there for Jordy. I'm not going to pretend it's me, but that's awesome. And then to see Bing Pot that gets 200 and almost at 250 now is like, I feel really good about that because I built it. I put the work in, actually getting to know these people that were coming to my shows live, and then transplanting it onto the Twitch platform really for them so that they could continue to have some normalcy in their week. And then also, yeah, I get to explore what that looks like now, but it is something I'm very proud of, that I was able to build it organically.
That sounds
and
really,
not rely on the cloud.
It definitely sounds really exciting. Like, do you need to have a Twitch account to be a part of Twitch?
No. So the best part about Twitch streams is like you can just go and watch. You don't need it. You need an account if you want to start typing in the chat.
Okay. Well, that I need.
You can subscribe to streamers if you want, but you don't have to subscribe. To watch the shows. So I go live at 7:30 every Thursday, and it's like a 2-hour show. You can just come in and watch, and that can be the extent of it if you want. On my Instagram bio for BingPot, I have links to a game sheet that you can download. And I tell everyone to just do this pen and paper. Like, get together with a group of 5 or 6 of your friends on Zoom or Skype or whatever works for you. But have one person who's your team captain holding the pen and paper, and they'll get the say on answers. And then I take you through group marking. We can figure it out together if you got them right or not. And I ask if people want to, that they can submit their scores. It's all honor system. It's all for fun. And there's no prizing here. But you can submit your scores on the end and see how you did alongside everybody else. And also we do a little after show where I go through all the scores and be like, this is our top 3, like, good on them. And, look, we had a team playing in Florida. We had these guys in Colorado, just to kind of see where everybody's coming from. So you can be as involved or uninvolved as you want.
What exactly with your trivia, can you give us like an example of what it is? Like, is it music trivia? Is it like TV show, like radio? Yeah. Like what?
I'm everywhere. I'm all over the map with it, and that's by design. So when we're in the bar space, I'm trying to create like an environment where for your team to do well, everyone's got to have a diverse knowledge set. So someone's got to be able to answer pop culture questions. Someone's got to be decent with the history or geography or the brands or whatever. There's always a music round. There's always a picture round. There's always a general knowledge round. And then in rounds 3 and 4, I kind of tweak things. So I do a 50-50 game every week, which is like cocktail or cannabis is one of them, where I give you the name of either a drink or a strain, and you've got to tell me which is which. I've done stuff like size matters. Here's 2 things, and you tell me what's bigger, like the crowd at Woodstock or the crowd at Coachella. And so those are my 50-50 games. And round 3 is different all the time. Just different things to kind of keep it fresh and keep it interesting.
Very interactive too.
Yeah, and I think that's the other part of it. When I was building this, so like the whole reason that I started doing my own trivia is because I couldn't find trivia in the city that I liked enough. And there's some people out there that are doing good jobs. But what I was playing in Vancouver, I think the guy that was running our show, it was his personality made all the difference. And I wanted to make sure that in creating my own, it didn't matter if I was the one hosting it or if any of these guys that I have hosting other shows were doing it. It doesn't matter. But whoever it is, you've got to have the personality to really engage a room and entertain. Because I'm sure, like, if you've ever done the bar trivia thing, sometimes you go, it's just a guy sitting on a stool asking questions, and like, So I'm trying to add the hype.
Well, it'd be more fun if you can even like dress up or something. I guess that could be like when we're out of COVID. Like you could do a round where you're like
Well,
all
for
dressed
sure.
up or something like that.
I mean, funny you bring it up, but I've got a whole collection of fantastic suit jackets that I bring out for the right occasions.
Okay, that's what I saw on your Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It matters.
Is that Spider-Man? No,
This
that's
is a
Marvel.
combination of Spider-Man, Thor, the Hulk. I think Iron Man's on here. Yeah, it's my Marvel suit.
So are you a DC and Marvel fan?
So I say that again. I lost you for a sec.
Oh, no problem. I said, are you a DC and Marvel fan?
Yeah, definitely more Marvel than DC.
Marvel. Okay. Sure.
It's just me. It's just what it is. Okay, we don't have to fight about it. Okay.
Okay, so now I have a feeling. I feel like you would throw those kind of questions in too.
Absolutely.
Like
There's lots. I try and hit
I
on.
bet you.
I try and hit on pop culture. I've done a Marvel versus DC round where I'll give you the name of a character and you got to tell me if it came out of Marvel Comics or DC Comics. Is this up your alley?
I know of the movies more, but I know some of comic books. I'm not like, I mean, I'm 23,
Sure.
so I'm not young, but
Yeah.
I'm not like, I didn't binge comic books when I was younger. The only comic I ever
no, me
binged was
neither,
The
just
Simpsons.
movies.
Yeah.
Movies and cartoons.
Movies and everything. Oh yeah, the cartoons as well. So I mean, no, it's truly exciting because I'm also learning on what you want your audience to be for this. And I mean, you also being on my show today, I want to make sure we give you a lot of exposure with Bing Pot Trivia or ways that we can bring this out everywhere. Because I was thinking, as you mentioned, you did it on Twitch. Have you ever tried doing a Zoom call with like some people as well? I know you're using Twitch now, but
for private events, I get booked on private events on Zoom, and
you get booked. Okay.
Yeah, those work out well too. Yeah, it's I do private events for sure with the company. It's kind of what we got to do.
Okay.
But yeah, what's great about Twitch is that I don't really have a limit. And what I was saying earlier about BingPod originally being this idea, not just for trivia, but an identity for creative individuals, right? An umbrella for people to get behind and let's get each other's back and put out content. So the idea is at some point, and I'm still figuring out exactly how and what it looks like, but at some point, turning the Twitch channel into more than trivia, but having opportunities for other types of content and for other people that I'm affiliated with to use it as a platform to just try stuff. Like let's just put it out there.
Like comedy? Like what do you mean?
Sorry?
Like what do you mean exactly? Like looking for plugs? Or are you looking for like comedy? Like what exactly are you?
No, so I mean the team that I work with, you know, I've got a couple of broadcasting students that are interning with me, and there's a writing team and everything, and it's all kind of circumstantial. So when we get the opportunity where everybody's got enough time to put stuff together, I'd like there to be a channel where there's already a foundation. So right now, it's not a huge number. I think it's like 35 subscribers, people that are plugging in. And we know that we have a captive audience for BingPod of at least 200 computers tuned in, however actual number of people that is. So anything else I want to build, whether it's typical Twitch streaming stuff like Let's Play videos or anything like that, whoever I would want to partner with to do that, I have a channel now that even though it was built for trivia, it is multifaceted. So even what I'm doing with Jordan right now and just going down memory lane and watching old episodes of Life with Derek, it's like I have a platform to do that. And so trivia starts it, but whoever else I end up running into where we want to collab, now there is a place to do that.
So you have it on your channel for Twitch. Now, do you also try to use or utilize like YouTube?
So no.
Okay.
And I know I could, and I'm still doing a lot of learning here.
Of course, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Like, and one of my big regrets, we talk about character growth and changing over time, but when I was like 20, 21, 22, I had this, YouTube bugged me, and it's not fair, and I was very much in the wrong, but it was like, and it sounds a little conceited now.
No, you're good. You're fine.
No. It does, and it should. That like I figured, because I came from the professional world of this.
Okay.
Right? Like, if you want to make a production, okay, if you want to really put content out there in the video world, you need budgets and a team and actors, and like, what are you talking? I can't do this on my own. Nobody can do this on their own. Meanwhile, what's happening under the radar, it's not even under the radar. It's under the radar to me because I didn't care to look at it. But
okay.
YouTube's blowing up, and you have a whole bunch of content creators that are going out there just for the sake of it. It sucks because, like, I mean, I was in high school when YouTube came out.
Okay.
Like, YouTube was not a thing until like 2005, and I'm in high school. So, in the beginning, yeah, I definitely threw some crap on YouTube just like to make stuff. But that's walking around with a little mini DV camcorder and like a guy with editing software. Yeah, right? Like, it's a whole totally different world. So the fact that people can sit down in front of their webcam, like that mini DV camcorder I'm talking about, I bought when I was like 15 for way too much money, like a couple grand, because I was like, I want a nice camcorder.
You did not spend $1,000 on that, Danny.
No, I spent $3,000 on it because I was like, hey, but that's what professional equipment cost.
Okay.
And like, whatever.
I think I got a Canon or something.
No, but the whole point is like, now.
Yeah.
I spent $200 on a Logitech webcam to put on my thing, and it's way better than anything I ever could have shot on 15 years ago. And so there was some block that I thought to make good, engaging content, you needed the crew, you needed everything. And I looked down on the YouTube community because they were just trying, and I'm like, these kids have no idea. No, I was wrong. I'm the one who had no idea. And eventually I came around to it, and that was part of going back to school, was realizing there's a whole world out there that you missed.
You still have time.
I know. I do. And
but that's
yes,
up to you if that's something you still want to look into, because it seems like you're still kind of like, not sure, you don't want to go that route.
I don't think I do, but that's it's not because it's not because of anything against YouTube. It's no, at this point, I've only got so much time and energy and resources, right? So where do I want to put that focus? I think splitting myself up and being everywhere isn't going to be a great use of energy. So right now, and I mean like in May of 2020, what it is put the energy into the trivia stream, put the energy into the Twitch channel, start there, see what happens. So I'm very much trying to grow it out in different ways. Okay. Seeing what everything looks like at the end is going to be interesting.
Wondering if you would ever try to do some trivia on TikTok or make a sound of something and see if people would use it. That would utilize a lot for yourself. People use the stupidest sounds on TikTok.
For sure. So that's the best part is like, I definitely do, but I haven't spent too much time on TikTok, and like, I don't want to sound like I'm
No,
I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I actually have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to TikTok. Like, getting sounds on there, I feel like I've seen videos where people have done that. I don't actually know how to.
You just record yourself. That's it.
Yeah, and just upload it, and now it's like, hey, if anybody wants to grab it, grab it.
Yeah, like you make your own sound. Honestly, you could not tag anyone, and me and Jordan or whatever, we can make. All you need is like 4 people to do your sound, and it literally becomes viral.
And then people will do it, and then so like, I think the thing is it doesn't interest me as much.
Okay.
Like, so don't get me wrong, everybody's in quarantine, and we all know the TikTok story of I'm bored, I'm going to download this TikTok thing, and
bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored?
Bored in the house bored. What do? I download TikTok. So I definitely got a kick out of it for a bit, and I have my friends that text me and send me like this Life with Derek content, and that's kind of how this whole thing blew up. Was I duetted a video of Jordan duetting another video, and then we which was a duet of Ashley doing a video, and so we did this nesting doll thing. and that was cool. But that was also the like thing that kind of brought us all a little bit back together. I hadn't talked to Jordan in like 8 years.
Okay, that's really good.
And
Yay.
like, I mean, we were following each other on Instagram and stuff, and it's not like we just kind of ghosted each other, but I don't know, we weren't talking for any reason. Like, there just wasn't anything to talk about.
Well, you
But
guys all went your separate ways.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
That's what
it's
happens.
just, people ask all the time, like, hey, do you still talk to the people that were on the show with you? And I'm like, well, no. Like, what do we talk about? And this was neat because the first live stream that I did with Jordy when we went and did this little Life with Derek rewind, we spent a good half an hour before the stream just like talking, catching up. What's going on? What have you been doing for the past 8 years? And it was just wild like that. I think it's crazy that TikTok got us back together as a group.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like a platform that's not. I'm not the target audience of TikTok. And
you can be, but you don't have to force yourself. Don't.
Well, this one is like, I mean, I'll flip through it, and I'm the worst at watching stuff. Like, I don't like watching things.
Okay.
And it's not just things that I'm in anymore. I got no patience for it. Like, I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine's the only exception of like, I'm going to sit down and watch this. But the problem is I went to film school and I've been on stuff, like I've been around scripts for so long. It's just, doesn't matter. I can't turn it off. When I'm watching a show, I just start breaking down everything about it in my head. And like, I can't just sit there and watch content for the sake of watching content. And I think it's like blessing and a curse. But for me, I'm watching the TikTok stuff and I'm like, nah. So the stuff I like doing that's why I'm a gamer. Like I'd rather be playing something than watching something. And, if I can get involved in that community and people that think the same way, I just think that's where I'm better positioned.
Well, go back a little bit to where you said breaking down the character into content. Do you mean like monologue content? I mean, I was an actress. I did like theater.
No, so it's not so much the acting thing.
Okay.
But like I went to screenwriting school when I was young. When I was 19, I did it for a year. Like I graduated from VFS for it's Vancouver Film School for writing, and really ever since, like when I watch stuff, I'm always very conscious of the fact I'm watching a show.
Okay.
And so everything in a movie or a show is me watching and trying to figure out why the choices that were made were made.
Gotcha.
And like, that's so frustrating because I cannot watch something to just watch it and enjoy it. Very rarely can I do it.
Oh, that's crazy. How could you do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I know, right? It's, and I'd love to be able to turn it off. I really do. And it's not like I'm definitely sensationalizing it a little bit. Like it's not like I sit there everything and I'm like, oh, I see. No, it doesn't work like that. It's just more like I'm curious, like especially with scripts, and trying to maybe not the dialogue, but character choices, and then like something will happen in a movie, and I'm like, well, you can't do that. It's not like it doesn't make sense because it's not real life, like not one of those. Like I get I'm watching a movie and you're supposed to suspend disbelief, but when something happens to a character that's inconsistent with what their character has done before or whatever, it just aggravates me, right? Because I'm looking at it at all these different levels and I can't look past it.
Or what about some movies that just start and they never explain what the character was or anything, and then you just jump into it and then it flashbacks and just...
Yeah, that drives me nuts too. So like the Marvel movies and like the new Star Wars movies, I kind of just, for whatever, like, I guess because you got the nostalgia with those franchises and you're just willing to let it go. Like, I don't care. Star Wars can do whatever the hell Star Wars wants. Like, yep, that's amazing. There's laser swords and space magic, and I'm
the one with
hooked.
Yoda, right?
That's great. That's a Star Wars movie. Love it. To me, like the mark of something really good is when I watch it and I forget I'm watching something, because that doesn't happen often to me, right? Normally it takes a friend or somebody to like really aggressively badger me to say, hey, you're sitting down and watching this because I think you'll like it.
So do you just like feel like when you watch something you're either kind of like not interested in it or you're like get distracted easily, kind of?
Yeah, it's that too.
Sound like
and then
me.
I suffer from like the paralyzing I don't know what to watch. Right. And it's what is it? What did I read the other day? I don't even know if it's true, but people spend 20 minutes just deciding what they want to watch on average. And like, but it's true, right? I mean, I'll sit down with a sandwich and be like, all right, I'm going to watch something and eat my sandwich. And next thing I know, I finished the sandwich and I'm still scrolling.
That's what we did on Netflix yesterday. We couldn't find anything to watch.
Everybody.
Yep.
So I've been saying this for years is I want Netflix or pick a service to just have an option where you maybe like tell it what some of your favorite TV shows are to start.
Okay.
And
I'm in.
just like TV, like you just click it and it just starts you with a random episode. And it's just like TV used to be, where you just turned on the channel you knew you liked. And there would probably be a sitcom that you liked. And you're like, awesome, halfway through it, don't even care. I know who those people are. This is great. And I didn't have to think.
Okay.
And I just don't understand why they haven't done that yet. And then slowly, they'll throw in shows that you haven't seen before, that you didn't put on your list, but based on the ones that are on your list, we think you're going to like this show. Boom. That's how you find something new.
Yeah, because there's so many on there already that I just keep looking at. And I'm just like, this looks interesting. And then I watch it and I'm just like, oh my God, this is too boring. Next.
Or I don't want to start watching something that it just turns out it sucks. Like,
That happens.
I don't,
Yep.
right? I don't want to watch something and like 20 minutes in, I'm like, I've just wasted 20 minutes. Like, no. So, I mean, one of the ones that I was really late to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was probably 4 years old by the time I showed up. And I know some people hold it out.
I watched like 3 episodes of that. It was just a little too much for me, but I understand.
So everybody was talking it up, right? And I was like, okay, I guess I got to watch this. But I also knew that it was going to be a lot. So like, that was one where I sat down to watch it, but I also took notes for the first couple of episodes to keep track of names and stuff. It's true. I did.
You can use that for trivia.
Yeah, right? You start finding those. I have them. So, yeah, it's just weird for me when it comes to actually consuming content. It's I very much want to create content and put stuff out there, and I do it all to get a reaction out of somebody, which is why I think doing things live or doing things via Twitch, where at least you have a chat to interact with, is key for me. Just doing it for the sake of putting it on YouTube, I don't think that resonates with me.
What do you feel like is bigger than Twitch? Like, what's your next standpoint outside of Twitch? I mean, obviously, if we're still in COVID, because I don't know if we're going to get another lockdown. I'm still till June 5th right now in Jersey. So,
yeah. Yeah. We don't have a date for us in Ontario yet, but they're still talking about it.
So annoying.
So I think what's bigger is getting back to network. Like,
okay.
There's obviously there's the draw to doing things on your own. Like, there are people out there, like you ask, icons, Cutie Pie on YouTube or Ninja on Twitch or wherever he is now. These guys, like, for them, there is nothing bigger than their platform. There's nothing I think that they could do that would help them get to more or higher up than where they are. And that's an outlier, obviously, right? These are the biggest fish in the pond. So for me, I think just knowing that I just want to keep growing. It doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter what platform it is. I'd like to keep growing what I'm doing, and I'd like to be learning new things along the way. And I would like to be producing something on network television at some point.
I was going to ask that. All right, that was my next question. Thanks for ripping out of my head.
But if network television ends up dying in the next 20 years, and like I say, dying, I mean, it'll look different, right?
It's just boring to me anyways. I just watch Netflix.
Right? Yeah.
There's nothing on TV anymore. It's just, I just watch Life.
Everything good that's on TV ends up on Netflix.
Well, then they take it off of Netflix. And then there's nothing.
Because now everybody's going to compete. And it's like, it's basically, here's what's going to happen is that, everyone's going to have their own streaming service. And so rather than paying your $60, $70, whatever the hell it is each month for cable, you're going to have like 3 or 4 subscriptions that end up totaling into like $70 a month. So whatever it ends up looking like, all I really care is just, I want to grow. And if that means I'm producing one day and I'm running the ship, I think that's cool. Even when I was acting, it was always very much, I don't want to just be an actor, because when you're an actor, you don't actually get any decision-making ability. You
It's true.
you go where they tell you to
Yep.
go. You deliver your line the way that you can, but you're not really in control. And I wanted to have creative control.
I was gonna say
So
they boss you
yeah.
around, right? Well, not boss
What's
you
that?
around. I was gonna say like they boss you around, like not boss you around, but basically just make sure you deliver everything right, or I
Well,
don't
you
know.
follow directions.
Yeah, they don't threaten roles, do they? Did they ever do that with you?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's probably like that now.
I know I was on Disney, but like you're talking to someone that was on Canadian cable TV. It just happened to make its way to Disney. Like nobody's getting mad on set over
Yeah, I
Canadian
just
cable
found that
television.
out. I was about to say it for Disney. It was on Canadian cable. I didn't know that. I had to look you up on. Well, I
Yeah.
looked you up on IMDb, but it was a different last name, so that totally confused me.
Yeah, I'm not a very good self promoter. For someone that really like just kind of likes putting himself out there, when it comes to actually promoting, I am terrible at it. So like, yeah,
Well, I'm
but
here to help you.
also-
I'm sure Jordan is too. I mean, you have us to use as a platform
yes.
too. Reach out to us
and I appreciate it.
and everything. I want to help any way I can. I definitely want to be a part of Bing Pot Trivia, even if I can't get my family involved. But I know me and my
whatever
sister
you can
would.
get, right? Just to come and watch it. It's wicked. But no, I appreciate any kind of support. But I think it was very important for me down the road to start doing it myself, and
is.
really do it myself. When it comes to and that's what I want. So when it comes to creating content or whatever the next thing ends up being, and who knows how long I run the Bing Pop thing for, but whatever the next step is, it's got to be about growth as much as anything else.
Well, yeah, you want that for yourself, but I feel like another thing is you're very excited and enthusiastic that you have something that you created. Like it has your name on it. Nobody can take that from you. So that's probably something else that you're just like, this is my baby kind of thing. And
but at the same time, I don't ever want to make it seem like it's something I did only on my own. And in the beginning, I mean, I had people that I leaned on for guidance, and more than guidance, when I first started doing this, and I was at the bar at Humber, I was at my school, like in the beginning when I was first just starting to build a crowd for this thing, who did I lean on? I lent on the people that were in my program. I lent on my friends at school to help push. And okay, fine. So at least if nobody else shows up, I've got these 8 people. Thank you. And I think that's so critically important. So when it kept going, like when I took it out of Humber, now I'm finding bars in the city. Now I'm going to my friends from wherever, and I'm like, hey guys, show up and start there. Like if you're really trying to push this, it starts with your own network, as small as it should be, right? Your close friends, the people that want to help you because of your friendship. And yes, it's my baby. I never could have done it though if all of these supportive types.
Yep, yours inspiration.
And so it's inspiration and support, and even like when we got our 200 viewers on the first online episode, and I was like, what?
Mind blown.
It's insane. But yeah, like I remember that night. So the first day I ever did one of these trivia nights, right? Like a room at Humber. I couldn't even tell you how many people showed up. It was a decent crowd for sure. But after I did the first one, like the feeling was unreal. It was like I just decided that I wanted to do something, and I put it out there in the world, and holy cow, does this feel amazing. And then the only time I've ever really felt that since was when I did the live, and when I did the first one, and it was like, oh my God, people actually want to watch this. People actually care to like tune in. And that feeling, like we're talking about an audience of 200 or 300, and I was on a platform. I was on a show that ended up in 50 something countries, and this crappy little trivia night with 200 people gets me going in ways that the other thing never did, because it's mine, and that is freaking awesome to feel.
It also has to be because maybe you look like the character from Life with Derek, even though you are, and you might not think that you are successful from that, but a lot of people know you from that. So they might have been excited to be a part of that, like you're doing trivia or something too. Like I'm doing trivia with DANI MAGS,
In the beginning, we had that for sure. Like, and obviously, like, come on, I was 24 when I went back to school. So like even the 18, 19-year-olds like were there, and everyone knew who I was. And it's, or not, I shouldn't say everyone. It took a bit for some people, and I definitely never flaunted it. But or not as much as I could have. But the reaction is there. Like certain people figure it out. in the bars and stuff. And maybe that is a reason to keep them coming back. And I've always said, like, hey, I'll milk this thing for everything it's worth. If I was lucky enough to be in that position when I was a teenager, that now I do have people that I can draw from, like, I'll milk it, but I would never want that to be everything. I need it to be whatever I end up doing. It's got to be me standing on my own. And if I use that to help, great, because I did it when I was a kid, and it's fair. But yeah, it can't be everything.
Well, let's say you had Bing Pot trivia when you were doing Life with Derek. How do you think that would have affected you now? More successful, maybe?
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like,
okay.
and
well, because they would have probably done it with you too.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? Like, when I was 15, so I was on Life with Derek when I was, we shot our first season, I was 12 years old.
Okay, I knew you were young. I thought you were 10 or 11, but I thought Ariel was younger, so okay.
Yeah, Ariel and Jordan were both. So Jordan's actually 4 years younger than me, so or 3.5. So she was, I guess she was 9 when we started. I was 12, almost 13, and when we wrapped, I was 15. Okay. So at that point in my life, and even in the years that followed, so they reran that show to death in Canada. You didn't get it as much as we did up here, and it's because it was a Canadian show. So like they just spammed it, you know. Disney took it off the air when it was done because it wasn't Disney's. They didn't really have a reason.
I was so mad. Yep.
Yeah. Me at that age, I was not ready to be famous. And yeah, I mean, Disney famous is famous. Like, I just kind of wanted to be left alone.
Okay.
You know, like
was it too much? Did it, like, people keep coming up to you? Was it like?
Yeah, and it was a combination of, like, so I was a very, like, I didn't do anything stupid when I was a kid. Like, okay. I wasn't, you know, sneaking out of the house at the age of 13 to go get drunk and get high and do rails of coke and stuff like that. Like that was very much not me.
Okay.
Good. You know, but I just wanted to, like, if I was going to an amusement park or if I was going to the movies, like, you just, one person sees me, one person says, "Oh my God," and then the entire room sees you, and then the entire everything sees you. So, like,
you had to disguise a lot.
Well, yeah, there was definitely like a little bit of that, you know, and also, like, at the same time, right? Remember, Canadian cable television. I am not a young Justin Bieber or anybody walking around. Like, it's not even close to that. So I'm not walking around with anything crazy. Like, there's no limos, there's no bodyguards, there's nothing.
Just you.
Very much. I'm just a suburbanite from Thornhill, Ontario, that's just, like, living his life. So, and that's all I wanted was, like, I'm just a guy. So when I didn't get to have any of that, like, even the be famous thing, I'm just like, some days I just wish people would leave me alone.
Oh man, Danny, I'm so sorry.
Look,
I mean, this is back then. I understand that it was too much for a little kid.
But I also I wouldn't say it was too much. Like, there were days I had it for sure, you know, and there were days where I didn't. And I think just, like, overall, I had to learn how to appreciate what I had.
Okay. Did you feel like you had any anxiety about it or anything either?
I probably, but at that point, like, not that I would have known what anxiety was then. Like, trust me, I got my share of issues now.
Oh boy.
You know,
you and me
one of my favorite questions I love asking people, like, if you really want to get to know someone and you just want to, like, cut through all the crap, the first question you should ask them is, so, hey, I'm Danny, what's your trauma? Just learn, right?
There you go.
You know, and then I get to say, well, what's my trauma as a child actor? With growing into it, like, you start to realize at some point that all the attention people were giving you back then was that they thought it was so cool that you were on TV. And so that was the part that never clicked for me. And I know how asinine that says to say that out loud, that it took me a while to really understand that people were just like, yo, this is so cool. I'm in a movie theater and that kid from Life with Derek's there. I was taking the other side of, like, dude, you're in a movie theater and that's just some guy, so, like, leave him alone. But, like, I wasn't some guy to this 15-year-old kid. It was super cool. So, like,
yeah, super famous.
Yeah. But it took me a while to really appreciate the other side of it and everything. And I'm sure the right way is somewhere in the middle. But anyway, so if the question was where would I have been at with Bing Pot, like, I don't know that I would have known how to balance it. Now, you know, whatever it is that I still got that people want to actually tune in for, or if they still think I'm entertaining, first of all, thank you. And second of all, let's just have some fun. And, where it is right now, like I'll use the Life with Derek thing. If that makes people watch this right now and that gets them to at least check out what the trivia thing is about right now, what my thing is, then awesome. I'm happy with that. Life is good.
Another thing would be really great, and I don't want you to do this constantly for yourself to bring viewers, but if you remember lines that you used to say on Life with Derek and you randomly said it, just from time to time, I'm just saying, because
they don't. There would be ways to do it. There would for sure be ways to do it. I pick and choose my moments. Like, I've done so one of my favorite rounds, like I do like a Price is Right ripoff, where I just like, I give you a product and I pull the price off of Amazon and then I tell you the wrong price. And you just got to tell me if the actual price is higher or lower. So I did about 3-4 of these, and I'll do it maybe once a season. So twice a year at most. I think one time I finally did it, and the very last item in the round was Life with Derek season 1 on DVD. And I'll do right. See, there it is. And so like, you got to pick and choose your moments, because I don't want to milk this forever, and I don't want it. That can't be the shtick. That can't be the shtick. That he was on Life with Derek. I'm like, hey, that's going to get old way fast if it hasn't already. So, the little subtle nods every once in a while.
It's still not
right?
old though. Well, I mean. You're not that old. The show hasn't been that old. Michael Cedar is probably older. I think he is, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, like, how often or for how long can I push that as my bit, right? Like, hey, that's Danny Maggs. What's his deal? Oh, he was on that show when he was 15. Like, that's not going to last, right? And I wouldn't want that to last. It kind of goes back to what I'm saying. So what I want to do is, like, I understand that it's appreciated, so I'll throw it back whenever I can. Like I did, okay. I think my second broadcast was my music round. I didn't do a music round. I did TV theme songs instead. And, this is maybe the 6th time I've done a TV theme song round, and finally I stuck the Life with Derek theme song in it. Yeah.
I know the whole song.
And just watch the room lose their mind. Like, yes. So I try and not overdo it, but, it's funny, too, because there are a lot of people that play with me, and, like, there were people in that time I put it up on that Price is Right round. There were people that had been playing with me for an entire season, were playing for 13 weeks and had no idea that I was ever on television. And it was only when I did this and I throw Life with Derek season 1, then the whole room starts clapping and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. But then like this one guy who's sitting there comes to me after the show. He's like, were you on TV? I'm like, oh yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I don't like drawing attention to it. I've never liked drawing attention to it. People come up to me and they're like, hey, were you on Life with Derek? And the first thing I say to them is, what's Life with Derek? And then they go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but I have to, right? Because otherwise it gets boring. Like, I'm over it.
Well, do you feel like another thing is maybe if you like talked about it too much? Because I know you don't want to, but if other people constantly made you talk about it so much, it would be like annoying to viewers. In a minute.
It's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just I don't want it to be the spotlight.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think there's so much else. I think personally, like what's way more important to me is kind of what happened in between and like the growing up that I had to do.
And just stick it out for how far you've what you've done, what you've been through. Where you are now, what you've created. Like, look at all the positives. Yeah. So that's what you need to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's way more important to focus on that stuff rather than, oh my God, what was it like being on this show 15 years ago, right? It's like, and that's crazy when I say that out loud. Like, 15 years, man. We started filming season. We would have just wrapped season 2 15 years ago.
Can I ask, do you know how old Ariel would be now? She was the baby.
Ariel is 22, maybe?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everybody grew up.
Well, let me think. If she was 6 in 2004, so what? She's in 98. So yeah, she would be, if she hasn't turned 22 yet, she's 22. I think she's got a summer birthday. Jeez.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah, I messaged her the other day. I found her. because I didn't know. Nobody knows what happened to her. Ariel fell off the face of the earth, but she did.
I did. I tried to find her. I'm not going to lie. I did. I was like, maybe I can try for, a couple of you guys to have on my show to promote what's upcoming.
Did you find her?
No. I got you and Jordan.
So I found her, and I didn't find her. A friend of mine actually found her, and I don't know how he did it. The man's a wizard with Instagram. And I shot her a message, and I'm curious. I might try and get her on stream in the coming weeks to do one of these throwbacks with me. And I mean, I'm not going to push because I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to her, again, an eternity, right?
Yeah,
so,
you don't know if it's traumatizing or whatever either.
Well, I wouldn't say traumatizing. I mean, the level of trauma that we all felt at some point or another, whether or not we even want to call it trauma, we'll say the level of influence that show has had on our lives is That's significant, and maybe more so if you were 6 when you were on it versus 12. I don't know,
That's very true, yeah.
But so if I do want to get her on, and I do want to play catch up, and I want to be able to ask her these questions myself to see what it all is. But yeah, that's where that all is.
Real quick, Danny, before I get back to you, I'm doing Cat of the Week. I actually have guinea pigs I'm showing, so it's up to you. Yeah, Gucci and Fendi. Okay. All right.
Hey.
It's just a picture.
That's very cool.
This is Tree,
adorable.
And a new segment on
He's
the
noshing on
DJ
some
DANI
lettuce
show
over there.
is Cats of the Week. 'Cause I was born in the wild.
On Puppy Kitty, New York City, we have guinea pigs. We have Gucci and Fendi today on May 12th. Meet Fendi and Gucci. Fendi is a calico spade girl, and Gucci is a black and white boy. Gucci is somewhat friendly, but Fendi does not like to be handled. They love veggie treats, and they are very vocal. They do get excited when they see you, and they do like to keep each other company. And they're both need to be adopted together, and their fee is $100 for both. If anyone is interested in Gucci and Fendi, you guys can go to www.puppykittnycity.org, puppykitty.newyorkcity.org. Again, they need help with transportation, adoptions, and fostering. Thank you so much. Every week I try to mention an animal so I can help with adoptions, fostering, or transportation. And recently they've just been giving me guinea pigs, and I'm hoping that they're going to be adopted. So
Clearly there is a guinea pig surplus.
I love their
names.
New York. Yeah, I think their names are just probably like the best thing. It's so like
What, guinea pig?
No, Gucci and Fendi.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's
It works so well with tonight, like with yourself being all proper and, poised with all your Superman.
Is that what I am now?
Exactly.
I was feeling a little too fancy here.
Yeah, I was going to say you're very designer-y right now. So Gucci and Fendi.
Yeah, hey, if it works, it works.
It does. So I want to make sure, especially with tonight for the show, that we give you time to promote all your social media. So you can do that now, where people can follow you, your accounts that you like to use. So your Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, etc.
Yeah, so if you're just trying to find me on Instagram, it's my handle's across social, the DANI MAGS. DANI MAGS was already taken, so I just, I did the onto the front.
That's what DANI show is. You're good.
Yeah, as you got to. So it's the DANI MAGS across socials. I guess now it's mostly Instagram, but I'm around on Twitch and with Instagram as well. So at BingPot Trivia on Instagram, where you can find the updates about my shows. Normally, if you're in the city of Toronto or plan on visiting and want to check out one of these things live when that's a thing again, the Instagram is where we post all the updates for it. We also posted updates for BingPot Live, which is the Twitch version. But on Twitch, it's BingPot TV. So BingPot TV on Twitch, BingPot Trivia on Instagram, the DANI MAGS, wherever you get your social media. That's how you find me.
Why didn't you put Twitch on? No, not Twitch on Twitch. Why didn't you put BingPot Trivia on Twitch? Was it taken?
No, it wasn't taken. But when I registered that name a while ago, before BingPot was as big as it was, but I wanted BingPot TV because it's my vision for it down the line is not just trivia.
You want network.
And so
TV.
BingPot's the network. And I don't know yet. The wheels are just kind of turning whenever opportunity strikes. But yes.
Think big. It happens.
have to.
I believe in
You
the
have to.
universe. So once you think big and you put it out there, Danny, as long as you control your destiny, it happens. So that's what you got to do. So,
Yeah, we'll see if it works.
That's good, though. That's really exciting. I actually even have a friend that works for Netflix. She's been on my show numerous times as well. Her name is Danielle Tapito. And she recently just got a job there. I don't know if they're looking to pick up anything, but I can always put in a word.
Hey, let's start throwing game shows on Netflix. Let's go. I am more than down to sit down with Netflix and say, let's make a game show.
Yeah, because they have game shows on there. Am I wrong? I think they
Well,
have.
they got like certain ones. Yeah, I mean, like, and they're posting Jeopardy and everything. If they want to get into the game show space, I am more than happy to entertain.
Like it's trivia and stuff, yeah. Or you
that?
can make
Yeah.
it super interactive where like, I don't know, viewers like have their, I don't know if they have like a Fire Stick remote or whatever and they like, I don't know, click on the answer or whatever on the screen. I don't know how you want to work it out, but it's just what I'm envisioning. So
I'm open to anything at this
So-
point. Look, you get me a conversation with them first, and we'll start there. Okay, let's not get too big. I have two real goals. I think one is to host some kind of bigger game show. Maybe it is Bing Pot on a bigger format, but I'd love to be an actual game show host. And I think the other one is one day, I'd like to be the world's greatest TV dad. I think that's
really?
well. So
So you want to get back
let's just
into
think about this for a
TV?
second.
Okay, got it.
Right? Let's just think about this for a second, okay? That it makes sense. I was a pretty good TV little brother, I think. So eventually little brother's got to grow up, and I think why not be a TV dad? The best part about that is now at the age of 25, let's try that again. Now at the age of 28, why that is a better goal is because, like, I got time. And it's like, that's not going to happen tomorrow unless my TV child is, a peanut or it's some story about me. Never mind. But if I could actually do this, right? And it's like in my 30s, turn into another Phil Dunphy or
Well, let's say that you made it happen, right? Say that you're a TV dad on one TV show that you want to be a part of. Would you try to make some of your slogans or hints, make sure you guys Bing Pot trivia or something? I feel like you would try to throw that.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to take that from another TV show that already existed. It's just like, let the word live on in another show. I don't know what the legalities of that are. Like if you were watching, I watch stuff. What sitcoms are you watching right now?
Jane the Virgin.
Sure. So if somebody in Jane the Virgin just yells out Bing Pot from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like, is that fine? It's probably fine. You can't copyright a word.
No, but you.
What? I'm not a lawyer. Do not take that advice as gospel.
Oh man, no.
I could be steering you in the wrong direction.
Are you going to purchase copyrights for Bing Pot trivia for yourself? Or did you? Is that something down the line?
Yeah, the legal department is working on it.
All right, that's cool. Because secretly, if other shows like wanted to use it or whatever, they could as long as they have your permission. And then you would just keep.
I don't even think it has to be that.
I feel like they have to have your permission. That's not fair if they just say your word unless you. What if they used it?
It's not my word.
Well, if you made.
It's a word that was out in the universe that I picked up and was like, I'm going to reappropriate this, and it's going to be this thing now. And then like,
Oh, you can throw in like Bing Pot trivia TV or something, and then make it your word.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just
Maybe
change it up a
I
little.
can probably copyright Bing Pot trivia together.
Okay.
But that's the trade name, right? So that I figure already has some kind of protection around it.
Well, you said the legal department.
The legal
was
department
looking.
deals with this, yeah.
So look into that. But I was saying
Yeah.
if you had another show, and even if they asked you for permission or if they didn't, say that they said it negatively, that would affect you so badly. You don't want that.
Yeah, you're right. So
Am I?
who knows? Maybe I'll
I'm
get
just
you.
thinking
I'll get
here.
you to jump on with the legal department, and you can explain everything to my legal team.
Who says
Yeah.
I'm even legal?
That's your man.
I know nothing
I'm
about
just-
legal team.
We're just talking. Look, it's just a conversation. We're just talking. There's nothing crazy going on.
I definitely feel like you should copyright it if you can, because I don't want other people to steal the idea from you, even if you created a website with it. Anybody
that's a good
tries to
point.
do that in this world. They try to get exposure somehow. I mean, you've seen TikTok. You see who gets famous for the stupidest things.
Yeah. What I think would be like a real accomplishment is if Dan Goor or Andy Samberg or whoever at the Brooklyn Nine-Nine writers really decided to come after me for using it for trivia. If that ever happened, I would consider that a success. That means that I was big enough that they noticed. And
That's
I
not good
appreciate
if they're coming after you.
it. Well, yeah, but like positive spins, right? Like
Okay.
if they do, it's because they noticed me.
Okay, why don't you think of it like calling you on the phone or something? Noticing you
What?
that way versus you getting in trouble, legal situation.
Well, it's all the same. Ask forgiveness, not permission.
I guess so. I just feel like you definitely, if you can get that as legal, like for what you want to do
Yeah.
and everything, you should.
It
into
is
it.
actually so in the next little bit. Like that is where the plan is. Like it's
Good.
everything has gotten to a point now
Mhm.
where it's time. So yeah, everything is kind of in the works already.
No, you're good. I feel like another thing I can definitely try to do, or even because you don't like to post as much, right?
No, not well. It's not that I know that I know I should, but no, I don't. I'm
Well,
not
you
as
get-
active about it as I could be.
Like you feel like you get busy, or you just don't feel like you want to. Do you feel like you
It's
have the
both.
right words to promote? Do you need help with that?
No.
Okay.
I got the words. I hate it. Like I'm not as much as I'm on social all the time. Like I do not love being on social all the time. And yeah, it just I'm a scatterbrained individual, and like just even sitting down and staring at my phone long enough to get an Instagram post off is like there's 40,000 things that are going to distract me in the 2 minutes that takes, and like it's that if I'm being totally honest.
Well, you've been doing amazing for a full hour with me. Have you gotten distracted besides putting on your jacket? That's it.
This is having a conversation is different. This is the one thing that I can actually do at length and not get I called it squirreling out with one of my old roommates. Like when you squirrel out, you just go, oh, squirrel, kind of deal with that for a while. No, this is, I don't know what it is. And it's part of the reason that I enjoyed doing the broadcasting thing, but this, I could just sit and talk for a while.
Well, I have ADHD, so it definitely helps me just stay educated and just, like I don't have to jump up and down or whatever.
Yeah,
on the right
exactly. You can just kind of
conversations,
focus on the thing.
From time to time. But I feel like, a lot's going on with you. That's amazing. Really good. Very positive vibes here. And as for more things where you want to promote and push out things, I know you don't want to, or you don't have the time, or you feel like you don't want to sociable. So I'm trying to see how I can help you, or can you get somebody to try to help you with like promote. When you go live and stuff, you post it. But don't you want to post something on social media like saying countdown to going live or something? Like, you want to be that person where you have.
I definitely. Well,
on your
the thing,
Instagram.
right? Like, I definitely want the.
Yeah.
I want the brands to have that, 100%. Right? That's it. That's obvious. But do I want to be the guy doing it? No, it's way too much crap to worry about. I know, and you can't complain. You have to actually just shut up and do it.
No.
And I will.
Okay.
I'll get there.
Well, I'm trying to help
but,
you.
like,
So how can I help you? How can somebody else help you? What can we do? I mean, I'm not saying I'm post for you, but I mean like text, I don't know, email me, say, can you make this post? And then I don't have, I'm trying to,
Look, well,
you build it your
First
way,
of all,
but you
thank
gotta, yeah.
yes. So thank you. Look, the show is every Thursday night at 7:30 on Twitch right now. If I get a handful of Instagram followers every time, this stuff will eventually snowball. And the bigger it gets, the more resources I'll have to be able to actually do this properly. So when I do have my shows in the city going, I say my live shows, even though like that's the in-person show versus the live broadcast.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, so when I do those shows, right, like obviously I got a company where there's a lot of stuff coming in, so it's bigger. This is just a more slowed down version because, it's the end of days. So not a lot of, it's like I don't have a ton of revenue coming in from that, which means I'm not making any big grand plans. I still do believe in doing certain things right with the resources you have.
Okay. I feel like
It's working for now.
another great thing would be, not even saying if I partnered with you, but if you had some other person that contacted you, whether it was a show or anything, and you know how like I have different segments in my show? You have a Bing Pot trivia segment where you have trivia question, and then people can guess. See, that brings a lot of viewers in too. And even though it's a different radio station or whatever, they're tuning in, they know about you, then they want to go find you. Brings you more followers, brings you more viewers. So
yeah, I actually, you know what? I've got some people I can reach out to, and I think I will. It's I'm part of it too, and I'm sure a lot of your audience can relate. But doing everything during quarantine is figuring out how to do it on the fly, and how to do it, meaning like also how to stay sane and everything. And I'll be honest about it, and I say this on the stream too. When I'm having a rough week and I'm doing my Thursday broadcast, I'm like, damn, this was a rough week.
That was like the Q-tip picture on Instagram.
It was the Q-tip picture. I like that will now be known as the Q-tip picture.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was just like, man, I'm having a crappy day. Like, and it sucks. And I think this quarantine deal has peaks and valleys where, sometimes it's just really hard to get work done. Like, you know what you got to do, but you can't do it some days. And so I'm basically just at the point where it's day by day. Things are going well. As long as I see growth continually, we're okay. Yes, everything you've said is a great idea, and I'm going to try and act on as many as I can. And these are things that have already been spinning in my head. So
good.
Baby steps.
Then we're on the same exact level, and that's awesome, because I'm just trying to give you the best advice and ideal that, can help you grow and just make this an amazing business for yourself. Because you want to be that businessman at the top too.
I do. So spread the word, and yeah, tune in on Thursday and check it out. At least watch the show and see what you think. And also tomorrow night, my last stream with Jordan. That's happening at 7 Eastern.
Okay, it is 7 Eastern. So for the Twitch live, is that Eastern Standard Time too, or is that a different time?
Everything's Eastern.
Okay.
It's all technically, I guess, Eastern Daylight right now. So 7 o'clock on Wednesday for the stream with Jordan, watching an episode from the last season of Life with Derek. That's tomorrow. And on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. for the Bing Pop broadcast every Thursday.
Well, thank you so much, Danny. I really did have a great time talking to you, getting to know you. And I hope that I can help you in any way that you need, either for the exposure or just the views. Just so you know, Hamilton Radio is all over the world. So you're not just in New Jersey. You're in New Jersey, you're in Australia, you're in Italy, you're everywhere. So you never know who's going to tune in and be a part of your show now. Maybe your growth will start after tonight.
Which would be awesome. And it's international, and I'd love anybody to tune in that feels like it. So Bing Pot TV on Twitch, and I hope to see you Thursday.
And I wanted to know if I can get a radio ID tag from you before you go.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so just say your name. You can either say a character or you can promote Bing Pot Trivia, whatever you'd like. And then you're going to say you're listening to the DJ Danny Show. And then the second one is you're listening to Hamilton Radio.
Sure.
Whenever you're ready.
Do I have to throw the character name in the...
whatever you want to do. It's your... Whatever you want. If you want to just do Bing Pot, you can. I don't want to force you for doing something you don't want to do.
No, I'm good. All right, let's do it, shall we?
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Neighbors yelling outside. My mic's totally picking it up, right?
I heard something. I thought it was outside my way.
No, it's definitely that.
Did you forget?
No, I didn't. It's there. Okay, give me a quick sec. 1 second. I'm going to show my window.
All right, you're good. It's okay.
All right, here it is. Hey, it's Danny Mags, and you're watching DJ Danny Show. Hey, it's Danny Mags, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio. I'm going to do 2 more, because I definitely said watching the DJ Danny Show, which technically works.
Yeah, go on.
Hey, this is Danny Mags, and you're listening to DJ Danny Show. Hey, this is Danny Mags, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio.
Perfect. Did you want to do one with your Bing Pot Trivia so you could promote it? Are you good? I mean, I'm trying to get you to have your promotion here, and you totally forgot. Your neighbor confused you.
Well, I'd like this to be timeless. Like, when this show is the biggest thing in internet radio 4 years from now, and, Bing Pot flamed out, and I'm working on something even bigger, I don't want to only...
Well, you're promoting it now.
Last one, shall we?
Okay, go on.
Hey, this is Danny Mags from Bing Pot Trivia. You're listening to DJ Danny Show. Cool.
Okay.
Oh, you want the Hamilton one too?
Oh,
do whatever.
Yeah, go on. I thought you were.
Right,
sorry. Go on.
Hey, this is Danny Mags from Big Pot Trivia. You're listening to Hamilton Radio.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Danny. Please keep in touch.
Danny,
honestly, if you need anything, please reach out. I mean, I have your email. I'm not going to harass you. You're good. But if you need anything, please reach out. You even have my number on my email. So literally, you need help with anything, reach out. Because I have iHeartRadio that I'm trying to also have with my radio show. They promoted me, and I also am on Well, you saw my website.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to build myself, but I'm trying to help others because that's more important in my book.
And that's that's the way to do it. You will further yourself by helping others. That's definitely helped me in the big pot world and trying to bring that to everything. So it's a great attitude.
Well, I'm glad I can help. So thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Okay.
Bye, Danny.
You as well. Have a great one.